So this must be, do you have any siblings?
I do. I have an older sister. She's a couple years older than me.
Is
And
she
she was not up, and she was not up in the morning with me by any means.
okay? And how did your parents take this, that your entrepreneurial initiatives?
They were extremely supportive. I can't tell you the number of times my mother would come wake me up and get me out of bed so that I was on time. My father would help me deliver the Sunday newspaper because there were so many ads that it was super heavy. And so he would drive a van around with the newspapers in the back, and I would walk up and deliver 10 of them and then go back to the van, get the next batch. And
Became your employee?
eventually, as I got older, he started asking for his share of Sunday deliveries. I think more than anything else to help teach me that business lesson. There were lots of years where he helped me for free, and just to teach me the value of entrepreneurship and working hard and everything else.
Yeah. So, I mean, delivering papers is a simple job, but the way you approached it, there's got to be a better way. I mean, that's the core driver of any entrepreneur coming up with an idea. So connect that with us to what you're doing today is in terms of working on conversion. Where did that come from?
Well, very similar. We mentioned at the beginning that I'm 6'7", and that means in part, I also have a large foot. I wear a size 16 shoe, and it's very hard to find size 16 shoes. If you can imagine, Nike, most running shoes that Nike makes only go up to a 15, which is still quite large, but they stop at 15. So when I was younger, I had a lot of challenges finding my size. And I actually went to Nike's website and was looking for shoes, and I could not filter by size. They had a grid of shoes. You could look at the shoes. You had to click on every single shoe to see if it came in your size. And I found that extremely annoying as a consumer because, yes, it served the masses. It served everybody who wears, the standard size 10 shoe or whatever it is in the US. And the problem with that was that I wasn't a standard fit. I just, needed something different, but I had to, in order to get that information, I had to click on every single shoe and see if they had it in my size. And I remember thinking, there's a better way to do this. And why is this site such a pain in the butt to use? And so I decided right then and there that this was a problem that needed to be solved. There were others like me. And so the good, when we started, our mission statement is actually to remove all of the bad online experiences until only the good remain. And the idea here was, let's remove those from the internet. We can fix those. And we're still on that mission all these years later. We've helped out hundreds of brands, including Nike. We've actually worked with Nike and Xerox and The Economist and Adobe and Autodesk, and I could keep going on and on, as well as hundreds of mid-sized brands and lots of Amazon sellers. But it's been something that's been a fun journey for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, you are the ultimate example of there's got to be a better way. So you started that when you were a kid and you're still pursuing it. So it's a great story. I loved hearing about it. So John, tell us, how can people reach you? And then you mentioned discount code. So tell us, how can people take advantage of it?
So if you are interested in getting a hold of me specifically, feel free to just send me an email. I'll give out my specific email address. It's just John, Jon, at thegood.com. I've given that out hundreds of times. Nobody's ever abused it. I would hope that'd be the same case here. But if you email me, I do try to read every email and reply, be as helpful as I can. If you're interested in the tools we talked about today, through a company that we started and own, it's called User Input by The Good. So it's userinput.io. And if you go to userinput.io/legends, we have a page we'll set up just for this podcast for people to listen. And or at checkout on User Input, you can use the code LEGENDS. Both of those will get you access to a 20% off of user testing. So and heat maps, so you can go and use those tools and get them at a slight discount to help make it a little easier to get started.
Great. That's very kind of you. And I'm sure, like I said, make sure your servers are up and running because they might get some extra traffic.